Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Joule, SAP Joule extravaganza where we're going to learn, we're going to complain, we're probably going to yell at stuff, we're maybe going to get enlightened, and everything in between. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll sing, all that stuff. I'm Paul Moderman of the Boring Enterprise Nerds. With me, as always, is the incredible Yelena Perfilieva.
Everyone.
Um, and the subject at hand in several dimensions as we float through the space of this is SAP's Joule offering. And you know, Yelena, I think maybe the place to start here is kind of just like open the Christmas present and go, what's in the box,
Yeah.
right? Like, because there's a lot of different flavors out there on offer. And so maybe like give me your take. You tell me what you think Joule is, and I'll tell you what I
Yeah.
think Joule is.
Okay. What's in the box?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a little bit nebulous if you try to go into detail. But
Mm,
if I were to explain it to someone who doesn't really know much about SAP maybe at all, I would say
mm,
that SAP Joule is like ChatGPT for SAP essentially. That
yeah,
I'm sure many people at SAP would have problem with that definition and
yeah,
would be just 4 minutes their mouth to that. But
yeah.
that is the simplest explanation that I could give to anyone. But if talking more like SAP consultant, but it's like latest offerings in SAP business AI transformation or something, but essentially that's what it is. It's like some AI, some sort of AI thing from SAP.
Yeah, the like because if I think back to the first announcements, this I mean it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like
Yeah.
that. What feels like an absolute eternity, but was
Mm.
really, a year or two ago. Like Joule was very much like positioned as like, hey, you're like doing your thing in your SAP stuff.
Mm.
And by the way, you have a little chat box on the side
Yeah.
if you want to ask some like pretty focused or specific kind of question stuff. And at that point, Jewel was like, I'll point you to the right Fiori thing to do the thing you're trying
Yeah.
to do, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That was sort of the first pass of it. And there's been a number of kind of I don't know if evolutions is the right word, but just, a number of
It's more like spreading, I think, maybe
yeah,
rather than
the
evolving in like in terms of progress or some kind of, I don't know, line
yeah,
upwards.
yeah.
It's like breeding. I think I don't know
Yeah,
if
yeah.
that's the
There's
right term.
it's like the evolution tree of like
Yeah.
over here's a monkey, but over here's like a lizard, and you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
guess it's all the same
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
top, or
yeah, but that, yeah, somewhere in the
yeah.
top, it started somewhere from like one cell. Right. That's
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 funny.
thought leadership that our viewers expect from our channel, Paul. This
Okay,
bear pig, like this monkey.
over on the left, it's like a monkey, but on the right side, the guy's holding a briefcase. It must be evolution. Um, the okay. So I I think we should maybe actually talk a little bit about the like those branches of
Yeah.
the tree. Maybe let's start with the most recent,
Mm.
right? And because we've seen this like SAP build Joule Studio,
Hmm.
which is like if you think about Joule as like the early the bacteria cell version of Joule was just the chat that
Yeah.
like pointed you to Fiori apps. SAP's vision, it seems to me at least anyway, and it kind of makes sense, is that like you as the customer can like start like shoving your stuff into Joule. One of the ways of going about doing that is Joule Studio. Yeah, so this is was it the 3 weeks ago. And those of us in the know in the super cool like consulting partner world have seen this like for months and months now, but the kind of the outside world is getting the like the some more taste of this stuff now, or I suppose I should say the outside world who has the right licensing to get to it
Yeah. Yeah.
is seeing this stuff right now. But yeah, so okay, so Yelena, your reactions to what you've seen out of the announcements and stuff for Joule Studio so far.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised it kind of came out of the left field to me because like you said, there are different flavors already of
Hmm.
Joule, and when I saw it, I'm like where does that fit in exactly? But I guess it's just on par of the course for SAP to add Joule to everything.
Yeah,
So they have created, what do they have so far? So they have announced Joule for ABAP, then Joule for consultants have been making waves, and the general purpose Joule has been, that's I think the OG Joule at this point.
yeah,
So now this one, it's built on top of SAP's what was originally robotic process automation solution, RPA. And yeah, so that's a, I think even RPA lost its name already. I was surprised I was able to find this product page with the old name,
yeah,
because I think it was renamed like SAP Build Automation,
yeah,
and probably even more stuff was added to it. So now, on top of that, there is also this Joule Studio that takes advantage of what's in the deep backend is still RPA by a, by a different name, but I guess it adds more convenience for the users to build those automations and AI agents. As I mean, Paul, you know more than other people that it's a big buzzword right now,
yeah,
and I guess that is also kind of SAP's way to feed from that, because the end of this post says, "Oh, we're just getting started, and we're going to get like AI agents and everything there."
yeah,
So that is, I guess, that stream of Joule. Um, but yeah, I have to say that it was just a little bit kind of oddball thing to me. But hey, it's just it's early in the day, so let's
yeah.
see where it takes us.
It's because it's like it's I think it probably has, and I don't know whether sometimes I complain about this a lot, but maybe I shouldn't be such a complainer.
Mm,
More like it just things take longer to bake than my impatient self wants it to
mm,
be, right? Which is just what I'm saying there is like when you launch something or you put it out in the world, like this is not his intention, right? But like this post would tells you essentially nothing,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like you would not be like, "Oh, now I know exactly what to do. Let's go do it."
yeah,
Like this so he's got to learn more here. I'm not blaming Dr. Emmerling is there's this what can you do in LinkedIn? That's totally fine. But like what the world needs now, apart from love, is like just a barrage of examples. A
yeah,
barrage of like do all this stuff. And I think honestly, I think when I say that, I also sort of mean like examples that are other than the ones that the often the vendor puts out,
yeah.
right? Like the best examples are, well, and we talked about this on our last Nerd Letter chat, I think, which was like the SAP has these like Fiori and ABAP for cloud and all this kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm,
roundtables that they
mm-hmm,
host where customers and partners can just come and share. And like even though those kind of things are a little bit more meant for like the practitioners a little bit,
mm-hmm.
like it's real people showing what they've really done with
Yeah,
the real thing.
yeah,
And that's always a little bit different than what the vendor sort of like puts out there to start with.
yeah,
And especially with a studio product, which is meant for you to make your own thing. You just gotta see examples. You gotta see things. Even going further here, these patterns, like I totally get why they're saying this, but like they pretty quickly devolve into like it's still too high level and fluffy, right?
mm-hmm.
Like you read this text, allow users to navigate seamlessly across company applications.
Yeah.
Like
Like that wasn't
that's
possible
that's
before. That's
the,
innovation, bro.
first of all, first of all, I hate the word seamlessly. I
Yeah,
hate the word seamlessly for two
especially.
reasons.
Yeah,
One is that like every announcement said every software vendor in the world says seamlessly, and that it couldn't be further from the truth. Like
Yeah.
there seems all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, it's on every single announcement. Like it's everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's become like a static word. Like my brain just has static when I read the word seamlessly
Yeah.
in an announcement.
Yeah.
But here too is like this still isn't quite specific enough to be like, oh, I get it now, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's just more to do here in terms of communications. And I think too is that especially with agents, because like full disclosure, I work at a company where we build agents,
Mm.
and we build agents for SAP purposes, right? This is not a sales pitch. I'm not gonna like try to do that. All I'm saying is that like the communication of what an agent is and what an agent's AI capabilities are is incredibly difficult. It's
Mm.
incredibly difficult to do that unless you have just gone and tried stuff. Because, like, first of all, like the current vogue in AI, like large language models, is a thing that unless you have gone and like played with those yourself, you don't know what their capabilities are. Like,
Mm.
it's a very amorphous thing in terms of its capabilities. But then further, like gluing that stuff together into a real thing is I don't, so if I I'm just gonna go off here because like I've been doing this so much is that like even every single one of these check marks here in this high level thing is like there is so much there that is both incredible but way harder than you thought
Mm.
from the green check, right? Like
Mm.
deep business context. Leverage SAPs for context rich, reliable, context rich. Okay, but let's talk about data. Reliable, let's talk about what that means. When people use AI agents or when they build AI agents, my thing is you've got to think about it less like an API, like a time API that just reliably always outputs like the current time, and it's like it can't hallucinate. It just looks at a clock and tells you, it just reports what the clock says.
Mm.
That's what it all it does. Like an AI agent or the tool that an AI agent uses, or like a sub agent, right? Or whatever, they're both greater than and less than that. In other words, their capabilities are more squishy like humans are.
Mm.
Like I'm sure there's times where you've told your child like to go do something, and then 10 minutes later you go look at them and you're like, what are you even doing? Like I told you to clean your room and you're like on the roof like flying paper airplanes. That's both like frustrating and awesome, right?
Mm.
Because like it's amazing that a human is intelligent enough to just be like, I'm not going to do what my mom says. I'm just going to go on the roof and fly paper airplanes into the lawn. That's cool by itself, except when you're like, yeah, but I need to clean the house because like
Yeah.
your grandma's coming and she's going to yell at me for not having or whatever, right? That kind of
Mm.
stuff. Kind of thing is still kind of where AI agents are these days too. A lot is that like they need to reflect on themselves a lot. And
Mm.
they need like curbs and guides and tools and standards and all this kind of stuff that I I don't know whether I like, man, as somebody who builds this stuff a lot, it's hard to imagine a studio type product going completely as far as people want it to, or
Mm.
as far as what they might hope from, let's just say, this stuff, right?
Mm.
These kind of things feel very API-ish. They feel
Mm.
very like if I put in this input, I know exactly what the output is going to be. And like that's a mixed up thing in agent world.
Mm.
That's not as rigid and as hard as you think it is for that stuff.
So I there is a actually embedded video in this blog post. So maybe we can. It's
Oh
really
yeah.
short one. Maybe we can
Yeah.
just hit watch and see what it does.
We start in the lobby, where you create and manage your projects in SAP Build. In the current release, Joule Studio enables you to create Joule skills. These are deterministic and task-specific in nature. When designing a Joule skill, you must give a careful consideration to the description because
Okay, so I want to pause here because
Mm,
there's a good distinction here. What this person is showing here is like a tool that you can give an agent. A Joule
mm,
skill is like a tool that you can give a Joule agent,
mm,
right? And so the skill, the skill itself takes on that deterministic nature of like an API kind of call.
mm,
But it's up to the agent to decide to use the skill.
mm,
And so the agent, every now and again, the agent doesn't decide to use things the way you would hope it does. And
mm.
so that's where some of the squishiness comes in too, right? Is it like
Yeah.
you tell the agent you have 6 tools. Based on the task in front of you, choose the right tools to go do the
Mm,
thing. And sometimes the agent just doesn't pick the tool you think it would
mm,
pick. And they're getting better. They're always getting better at this.
mm.
But that's the sort of distinction here, right? The skill is the tool, and Joule agents are like the things that decide to use the
Decide.
tool.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
This will be used by Joule to choose from it from all the other capabilities it has available. In this demonstration, we have a scenario where an ID badge should be created in a third-party system after a preliminary check in an SAP system. Joule needs to know what user input to expect and
By the way, I could do without the music in this
Yeah,
one.
by the
This
way,
is
I have no idea. This music is
yeah,
always annoying in those videos,
yeah.
but
what it
yeah.
should ask for if necessary. Joule skills can also be a building blocks for other Joule skills and in the future also tools that agents can use. So it can make sense to
Okay.
specify.
So that's interesting. So remember how I was telling you that the
Yeah,
skills are tools that agents can use?
yeah,
Apparently this is for the future.
yeah,
I didn't realize that
yeah,
these skills were to like I in my head I was like, how else would you hook it to Joule except to show it to an
yeah.
agent to choose the tool? But I guess maybe we'll see more of that.
Now we add the first action, which is a call to an API to retrieve employee data. At design time, we need a destination variable.
Okay.
When the project is deployed, the actual destination to use will be specified. From the skill inputs, we map the employee ID to the business partner input of the action. Similarly, we add the second action, which is a call to the badge system.
This music, God.
This time, when we open the skill content to do the data mapping, we have the result of the first action as well as the skill inputs available. Let us quickly check what the output looks like. We could let Joule generate its response to the user, but in this case we will specify the response with a send message. In this scenario, we give the user the opportunity to navigate to the badge system to check the result of the Joule skill. To finish the design, let us map the output so that the skill could be usefully incorporated into other scenarios.
Okay, all of us
Yeah.
developers, by the way, should like like mapping a thing using a graphic thing to like pieces of an API is like one of my waking nightmares.
Yeah.
And I think that's like such a huge part of what's going on here that I'm like, oh man, that sucks.
That's where I think I mean as a developer I do understand that magic is difficult, but someone maybe who is not familiar with like RPA daddy of this whole thing, and you could technically build this kind of skill with RPA, it just wouldn't be called skill, it probably wouldn't be able to use it with Joule, but it's so skill itself isn't really innovation, but I don't think SAP is even saying that, so
Yeah,
which is
no.
okay. But what is, I think, disappointing is, okay, so you added some kind of AI on top of this, but you're still doing this tedious mapping and you still need to know all the bits and pieces, you need to know the connections. what I think someone who is just reading, oh, this awesome Joule like studio announcement, when I just see like the name Joule Studio, I would think like, okay, there will be like ChatGPT, and I will just tell them, you go to our, you go to this system, and you bring me this, and you do this, and it would just do all this data mapping and clicking for me, not
I
like
mean,
me doing it and building it for it. It's like seems so backwards that
the
and yeah,
the first Joule skill that you should make is the skill that makes
it's
skills,
it's
right?
built
Yeah.
exactly. Like why wouldn't you build things that does this stuff? That seems like that's the actual problem that you should be
Guys,
solving.
we've got a factory, but what we really should do is a factory that makes factories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's just a little bit it's so hard to get like super excited about it when when you read this grand announcement, but then it's like, oh, it's like say the same old clicky clicky and mappy stuff that you've been doing
Yeah.
for several years already. So like, okay, well, thanks, but yeah, I
All
mean
right,
that's cool.
let's see what
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Let's see what else happens. We've still got 40 or 50 seconds left, so maybe there's
See.
magic here. There could, I mean, there
Oh,
could be. Don't get me wrong.
fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Now that the design is complete, we just need to release and deploy the project.
So this is what I was wondering
Here we
is like,
specify the actual destinations to the systems.
yeah, you're deploying it to an S4 system somewhere, it looks like. But okay.
Now we can test our new
There
Joule
we
skill
go.
in the Joule Digital Assistant. Here, I asked Joule to create a badge for the employee. The Joule
Yeah.
skill has been successfully executed.
Okay, so it got fuzzy for a minute, but now it's back to being a little bit more clear here.
Mm,
These skills are available as tools to Joule,
yeah.
right? Because you can see here, like Joule has to decide to
Mm,
run this tool, right?
mm,
So you the user have added this to Joule, and I'm assuming I think I think this Joule screen is like not just for making badges. It's for
yeah.
Joule to decide whatever thing you need to do.
Yeah.
So you could conceivably make hundreds of these skills or collections of skills,
Mm,
skills built on skills, skills on skills on skills. Um, and then I think the vision and what they're showing here is that like you just have your sort of your general purpose chat with Joule, and then Joule can like look inside the toolbox and go, oh, there's a screwdriver right here. I'll do that. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. I'm a bit curious how it would go about deciding, but I guess that also may be part of kind of future evolution of this
This is,
product.
I mean, this is the thing. I think what is, I don't know if they showed it because typically, in the AI world, typically what you do, let's see if this is in
Mhm.
the video anywhere. What you do now, you've probably heard of like MCPs and all these things like this. And
Yeah.
even before MCP was a thing, there was still was a world where like when you make a tool for a language model to use, you more or less just have to tell the language model,
Mm,
here are the situations and the ways that you should
yeah.
use this
Yep.
tool.
Yep.
And that just literally is inside essentially another prompt that goes to the model apart from what the user says. So
Yeah.
the LLM sees the prompt, and then the LLM sees, by the
Yeah.
way, you've got a tool that can turn screws, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like that's what's here, but what I don't see is the
Yeah, I didn't
user.
see it anywhere. Maybe it was a part where they super very quickly towards the end kind of fast
Uh,
forwarded through some of the
yeah,
clicking.
because
I don't know.
yeah, it's actually right now, it's actually extremely important that you write a very
Mm,
good description of these things.
mm,
Because you wouldn't want, for example, if you have like 100 tools in the tool belt,
yeah.
you wouldn't want like, I need to fire Paul Moderman
Mm,
and then have it create Paul a badge, right? Like that
yeah.
would be the opposite of what you want to
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah.
And so somewhere in there, either it's missing or the design, it wasn't shown of that. But that's one of the things that like stands out to me is like, oh,
Yeah.
we got to think about that too. Okay, so but yeah, so it does. I mean, as long as this as long as this video is like the truth of what actually is available now,
Mm,
then it does look like you can make like sort of some like API shaped things happen
mm,
inside Joule for your world. Um, and then obviously you just need to be obviously have all the right licenses for Joule in its various forms and formats to sort of do that. Um, yeah.
yeah, and I just poked around a little bit around those links here, and there is a super detailed post about setting up Joule Studio and getting started with it if you have access to it. But there is a link to the like a product tour. I found it unfortunately super underwhelming. It's just a series of screenshots for some reason. So there are videos spread around, very short ones like this one. There is a super salesy video that doesn't show anything. This one is somewhat detailed. There is, I think, another agent builder
Yeah,
video
there's
that kind of
yeah.
along the same lines. But yeah.
This here is kind of showing, I think, too, the kind of the hierarchy of this
Mm,
stuff where like these Joule skills
mm,
are like a sub branch
yeah.
of like what the agent can be, right? So kind of down here under
Yeah.
the Joule um
There's a Joule. There is
uh
another Joule.
is where like you are building the skills and those report up to the agent
Mm,
as tools. And
mm,
then of course there are other like components to how all that stuff
yeah.
works.
And if you,
Um
by the way, if you go to that getting started blog post, it does show an architecture of it. So
Provisioning. Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
so this
Yeah.
is actually and then part one only, but it has like so much information. So there you go. So this is the
Guys,
architecture
how could this
diagram.
not be more clear? Look at this
Yeah.
right here. That's what's your problem? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you noted before about seamless, so I mean that just shows like exactly how seamless it is, and
Guys,
it's
I don't see anything but seams on this.
yeah,
It's just seams on seams.
yeah,
Yeah.
every line is a seam, but
Yeah.
I think it's kind of I don't know, fortunate, unfortunate. It's kind of it is what it is these days. Every
Yeah.
architecture diagram these days,
It's
it
a
looks like
nightmare.
that
Whew.
conspiracy meme with with like all the lines. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but it's every single one of them is just
Yeah.
exhausting. I don't envy architects these days.
Yeah. No, not at all.
It's so heady.
Not at all.
All right, so
Okay.
all right, so I think we wanted to take a look at actual type of Joule that's available on API Hub. Any
Yeah. Let's
closing
get that.
remarks on Joule Studio, or I think are we good with that?
My only thing is like for anybody who's listening, and I haven't I've used I don't know if it was Joule Studio or if it was some preview version of something else, but there was a workshop
Mhm.
that I was part of and leading a part of a couple months ago, and it was kind of around like some agent building stuff in the SAP flavor of agent building.
Mhm.
And like the thing that I just want to impress upon our listeners and watchers is like you can't escape the like you have to experiment. You have to experiment.
Yeah.
Like even more than you would in the days of like I need to make a little practice program to make sure I'm calling this BAPI the right way, right? Like we've all
Mhm.
done that 100 times. Like you need to do that with this too. And
Yeah.
then and then find your way to like instrumenting and like responding to when it falls over on its face. Because it's going to do more than a program can do typically, but also it'll fall over on its face and be weird, and you need to be able to respond to that weirdness.
Yeah.
That's all I want
Yeah.
to say. Okay, but yeah, so let's look at the Joule stuff in SAP API Hub.
And you do need to log in to see it. That's a little
Am I
bit
logged in?
weird
Oh, I thought I was
stuff
logged
here.
in. Okay, so now I'm logged in, and I think okay, so and the Joule stuff here is it under the
It's like
artificial
right
intelligence?
bottom right here.
Oh,
So
right. Okay.
there is information, yeah, so there is a whole business AI section here, but you can just call up Joule by hitting that button, and I guess you can have some like a chat with it. It seems to be super slow though. It's I had the same result myself. Takes a while to come
Boy,
around.
I'm really anticipating this chat.
Like
See what how
anytime
big? Whoa,
now.
it can get pretty big. Oh, so this. So in the big mode, it looks like the Joule experience that you got on that video
Yeah,
that we just saw, right?
yeah.
Um, so maybe, hey guys, maybe there's a Joule skill underneath here that's searching the APIs, or there will be if there's a way to make it go.
Sometime. Oh dear Lord.
Hmm. But
Now
yeah,
it's
okay.
like cue for music.
2 hours later.
Can you try refreshing? Actually, I think that helped.
Okay.
And hit it again.
Oop. Ah, okay.
Okay, so nice.
We'll try one more time
Wait,
here.
let's try one more time. If you try turning it off and on again, the entry is in better face. Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh man, we were gonna
Well,
we were gonna
it's still well, at least that thing popped. Let's just yeah. So
not okay, yeah,
no.
no, no.
Okay.
Sometimes you can like work your way around it if you're just like, I'll try it anyway, right? But no, this
Yeah.
it didn't
All
go.
right.
Well,
So
shoot.
yeah.
This is because so like the API hub is actually a really important thing these
Yeah.
days. And I wish we could sort of look at the Joule experience in there because like it's a pretty it's pretty vital to like what a lot of people are doing in a lot of projects now is like, okay, I got to start with the whitelist, right? Or start with
Yeah.
the approved stuff and kind of work my way backwards from there, right?
Yeah. You
And if
can. Yeah.
Joule is actually really good at helping you in whatever form that would be, that's actually really powerful.
Yeah.
But we can't, I guess we can't
Oh well.
try it for this video.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have been nice.
But there are still a couple other things we can kind of talk through. There's also the agent builder video that we
Mm.
could look at.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's do that. And this is 5 minutes, so you get probably seven and a half minutes of us interjecting with super hilarious remarks and complaints. But let's get started. And let's see. I'm trying to think of like a bet we can place beforehand or something like that. Yeah, the music will be annoying. That's my bet. The music will be annoying. Okay.
All right. Let's see. Yes.
Good God.
See what
And look at
worse,
that.
actually.
Creating custom agents tailored to your organization is now straightforward using Joule Studio in SAP Build.
Dear
For
Lord.
example, imagine your business is growing and you want to renegotiate supplier contracts for increased volume. How about creating a new Joule agent that will develop a strategy to support you in your negotiations? Let's walk through the steps to create a new Joule agent from scratch. In a first step, we describe the purpose of this Joule agent. Joule will guide us through.
Here's a thing where like Joule is helping you make the Joule thing, right? So that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
process.
allegedly.
We want the Joule agent to help procurement managers develop a strategy to negotiate better pricing and terms. Next, our Joule agent needs a name. Here are some suggestions, and I can generate even more. Let's call it the pricing negotiator. Joule then takes us
Straight
to
to the
the
point.
build page and fills out the basic information. It analyzes the description and from this generates an avatar and a banner image. Cool. We're ready.
This is also, by the way, I'll turn off the closed captions here.
Yeah.
This is also, by the way, that purpose bubble in the middle there on the left side is what I was kind of expecting for the skill thing as like the explainer of like this is how
Yeah.
you do what is going
Yeah.
on here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But also if this is an agent, it sort of depends on how the agent is being invoked from some higher level chat or agent or whatever. So we'll have to see how that works.
Ready to walk through
yeah.
some steps to
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just my first question, like, who's gonna do that? Because the language set is shown here. That I think how someone with the knowledge of how this Joule Studio operates would go about it. It's not the business person like procurement manager who would do that. So a question is, how do we combine business knowledge with also knowledge of Joule Studio to actually create these agents effectively? Because it seems like it kind of needs both because
Yeah.
to do the agent, you need to have your what we call like business requirements typically,
Yep.
and we all know how good they are usually.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the business person themselves wouldn't be able to just go in and work with this format, probably not in this shape that's shown in this video anyway, because it's a little bit too like technical, because they would just start blurting out like, "Hey, Joule, help me negotiate contract," because
Hmm.
that's, I mean, that they're business people. That's how they
Hmm.
communicate. So yeah, but yeah, let's
No,
go
that's
on.
but you make a good point though, is that like whether this tool is bad or good or whatever in that
Mm,
experience, like there is still a sense of like even now there still is like just generally speaking, there is still a ton of value in clear prompting, clear
mm,
things. And part of clear prompting or part of clear like direction giving is understanding the capabilities of the thing that you're giving a prompt to.
yeah,
And like some people who like have experimented with ChatGPT and all these kind of things and they do it in their personal lives and that kind of stuff, they might kind of slide right in here. But like some
yeah.
people like it's a mystery box. Like I'm like people will just talk to me about AI off the street because I'm such a,
Yeah,
nerd for it,
nerd.
right?
Yeah.
But I was somewhere last week, and I introduced myself as this was because it was professionally, and so I introduced myself
Mm.
as doing such and such a thing with AI agents, and then this guy came up to me later, and he's like, he he asked me again, so what do you do? Because like
Mm.
it was so far removed from his universe that
Mm.
even though I used what I thought were very clear and simple, direct
Mm.
explanations, it was like, what are you even smoking, bro?
Yeah.
And then so I talked to him a little bit and I kind of explained some more stuff. And then his comment to me was like, all this AI stuff, I think my car dealer has that somewhere in their thing. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's
Yeah.
right. The
Yeah.
people who aren't dorks for stuff,
Yeah.
like there's so many people like that who like AI has not penetrated their
Yeah.
consciousness yet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe learning here is that people who will do well will be IT people with business knowledge,
Yeah.
or business people with some, IT kind of type of knowledge
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
There's still a crossover universe, I think here. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Yep.
onboard our agent. We set the bounds of the agent's role in the business by assigning it to a business process. Joule uses SAP Knowledge Graph, which encodes SAP's decades of expertise in business processes to suggest the correct
Like,
I'm just looking at this business process stuff because there's like a lot of threads to pull here. Not maybe not for us to like laugh or complain about, but like that's pretty good. The the lift to sort of create this business process hierarchy of things and then map it all the way down to like doing this, that, whatever is actually a pretty important thing for like a lot
mm,
of agentic type stuff. So
mm-hmm.
this is pretty good context. Like if this comes back to the user in the correct way, this might also help them kind of get to, okay, yeah, that's right, because this is part of the source to contract process that I have to govern with my boss to do blah blah blah. Like that
Mm.
could help that too.
sub process within the source to pay process. That looks great. So let's continue. Joule agents can do more complex tasks through collaboration. That's why we want to connect our pricing negotiator to other agents. Here, you can see some suggestions, and all of them look great. So
Mm.
let's add them. I check
Some of those are provided by SAP, or in this case, all of
Mm.
those are agents that are provided by SAP.
Mm-hmm.
out the AI team, and all agents I added are there. Additionally, you can add third party agents. I want to add
Yeah,
Microsoft 365 Copilot, so I search for it and then add it to the team in just one click.
this makes a lot of sense.
I'm
Data is
wondering.
key to ensure.
So I'm wondering what kind of bill you might expect if you just start adding stuff randomly. I think that's where I'm like, yeah, business, no one's gonna let business people do that, because they will just go, yeah, like
This is
sign me
like,
up for all of that.
get me off
Like,
them.
give me, yeah, add all. That sounds good, but like, where is it gonna end? Is it gonna make it better, or maybe is it gonna make it worse? Is it gonna
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Yeah, I'm kind of
There's
being cautious here a little bit, but
there's design taste here for sure, right?
yeah,
Because you could like make a Franken agent that's like
yeah,
you are like, I want you to negotiate prices, but you give it like all the tools, and all of a sudden it's like buying ad campaigns for
yeah.
toothpaste on some
Yeah,
other thing. Yeah.
it can turn either awesome or ugly pretty fast, I think.
Ensure
Yeah.
our Joule agent is grounded in business context. And thanks to context provided by SAP Business Data Cloud and SAP Knowledge Graph,
Nice.
it's simple to
There's the
identify
promo.
and
There we go.
add the most relevant data products. In this case, contract, invoice, payment history, and more. If I want to add externally sourced information, such as third-party benchmarking, this is straightforward. I just search and then add it. Next, we want to equip our agent with the tools it needs to take action in our business applications. We want to give our price negotiator access to the functional library of Joule skills.
Okay, here's where skills come in. So this is the thread between that previous video and this video, it looks like.
Such as invoice management and supplier search skills. I will accept these.
Because those, so yeah, and you're spot on when you see the the genealogy between IRPA and skill builder, which
Yeah.
is like all of these things here in the skills are very like robotic,
Yeah.
like very
Yeah.
defined tasks to
Yep.
do.
Yep.
Show this invoice, pick the first item,
Yep.
throw it in the garbage, or right? Like it's very specific.
Yeah.
We need to define when the pricing negotiator will be active, and this is done via triggers. We have multiple options here. The default is calling it directly from Joule, but we'd create a schedule or link it to another process. I'll accept the default for now. Joule agents work in collaboration with humans, so here we define how they'll interact with employees.
You know, I just I just had a thought too of like this particular thing as a price negotiator, right? And right now it's triggered on like users to type in like negotiate a price and whatever. But like imagine if you just hook it up to like every inbound like thing coming your way,
Yeah.
and then it just turns into like the pricing haggler where just like no matter what, it like fights the guy for a better price on what's going in. I'm sure that'll probably happen too at some point. Somebody will just say like just fight back on every single thing that comes my
Yeah.
way and give me a lower price, right?
Yeah.
As we all use Microsoft Teams, I'll set that as the primary communication channel. Up until now, we have focused on giving our Joule agent the business context it needs to do its job. Now we need to equip it with an aptitude to apply that context to create sourcing strategies. With all the information we've provided so far, Joule summarizes its understanding of what the agent will do. This is in the form of key objectives and the tools that it will use. If required, we can add additional constraints. For example, if a supplier has deliveries overdue more than 90 days, we will not negotiate with them until the deliveries are resolved.
This is a place right here, this kind of activity where I see people like who do think because this kind of experience is available in other tools as well, right? Where you like
Yeah.
you put in a prompt and it starts to sort of build you the scaffolding.
Yeah.
People get tempted into just being like essentially like the like remember like the installation wizard for like your game or whatever, right? You just go next,
Yeah.
next, right?
Yep.
People get into that thing with these too on this kind of thing. And like as a business user, probably the best thing you can do is read this thing right here in excruciating detail
Yeah.
and be just nitpicky as hell with this text right here because this is what's going to drive like the shape of the behavior of the thing. And you're going to be very tempted to be like, oh yeah, it looks okay, because you're just going to like read the bullet points and sort of like also be thinking about your post work beer or whatever, like just not thinking about it. But like people who are doing this, if any business users ever see this video, like read this thing in just painstaking detail.
Yeah.
This is where you can make your impact really, really seen in this stuff.
Now we can decide if we want to use a reasoning model. Reasoning models will help the pricing negotiator make more nuanced judgments for better performance. And that's a clear yes.
I have so many things to say about so many things. I just keep pausing. I'm sorry, but like,
Yeah.
reasoning or not reasoning is like it's a really nuanced topic,
Mm,
and like probably a poorly chosen word, although I don't know what the better word would be for
mm.
that kind of thing in a language model. And so like, because you'd be tempted to just be like, oh yeah, well, yes, think about it, like
I mean, yeah,
there.
kind of natural
Okay,
responses.
yeah, don't be
Yeah,
random. Think about it. Okay, yes, do that, please.
yeah.
But at that point, then it's like, why is there a switch? Well, there's a switch because like it's not always the best thing to do with what you're
Mm,
doing, but it's really hard to explain. And I also experiment between reasoning and non-reasoning for certain tasks, just because I'm not always sure which is the right model behavior type
mm.
for that thing. So like I'm glad it's there, I guess, because that's a feature of language models themselves. But like that's probably going to trap people in a certain place where it's like I don't know that's a dial that you should give to people on that
Yeah,
stuff.
and I'm
It's
usually, yeah, in this context, I'm looking for maybe like question mark or help like anywhere, but there
yeah,
is like zero explanation on what is just like yes or no, and I don't know if you maybe can ask right there in the window like what exactly does this entail, but I would prefer to have at least like super simple explanation where you
yeah,
can just literally like hover and get like a little pop-up say, oh hey, this is what it's gonna do.
yeah,
So yeah, but again, it's not now we're kind of swinging between deep business stuff and deep IT
yeah,
stuff here again. So really,
yeah.
really big mashup.
Can further configure the reasoning model, but for now, that all looks
There you
good.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Jeez.
That
look at that.
Okay.
Look at that. See, like
Like you
that's
lost me right there. I can
like
forget about
that's
it.
like I love these things because I
Yeah.
mess with these dials all the time, but like no way is somebody who's like just coming in here to like make a pricing negotiator going to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? I only need 98,000 input tokens.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, cool. Right? Like it's just not poof.
Yeah, and it's also step 99 out of 120, I think, so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
I'm just watching this video. I'm already exhausted at this point. I can't imagine person who is actually setting this up through this, magical studio. How would they
Yeah.
feel? They would be like, let's just, God damn it, just go through that and just
And
run it. Yeah.
you're probably burning Joule credits just to like try to
Oh,
make
yeah.
this too. So like
Yeah.
your boss is like, "Hey, whoa, don't prompt it so
Yeah.
much. You're burning up all those tokens, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
All
means
right.
it's now time to test the agent.
Phew, finally. Jeez.
Joule takes me to the test mode page, and I'm going to type in a test prompt. Our Joule agent starts to reason, plan, and act using all the business context, tools, and other agents as needed to decide on the best strategy. And just like that, here's our negotiations plan. And this is excellent. I can see the information provided by the RFQ, key negotiation tactics, risks, and even alternatives. And right at the end of it, there's a concise summary. And that's how easy it is to create custom Joule agents that help your teams work better and your business operate more efficiently.
So, I kind of feel disappointed right now because I was almost expecting it to go and actually do negotiations, but what it did, it just generated the text, and I don't know enough about business to be able to gauge whether this text was actually useful or not. The only
Yeah.
observation I can make, it seemed like super duper long to me. So,
Mm.
and there is a summary, but like I don't know. Again, I hope it provides value to business people, but considering how much work went into it, couldn't I just get this text from ChatGPT at like lowest lower price? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
if we could see more of it, the value would be more clear. Right now, I'm like, it's like it's too much build up, but then like, oof.
Yeah, like this is I think this very much ties back to like e- example curation for videos
Yeah,
is like priceless.
yeah,
It's
super
priceless.
important. Yeah,
Because yeah, not 100% sure whether this was a good example or not. Maybe it
yeah,
was, who knows? But but to my eyes too, not being a pricing negotiator ever in my life, like
yeah.
this is a hint, by the way, I'm not a haggler. Like, I'll just pay the sticker price on things, and probably stupid that way, but um, like it looked a lot like a ChatGPT output of a generic thing. Like I could just go ask ChatGPT for this same
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Be prepared to walk away. Well, yeah, I think I already knew that, right? Yeah.
Thank for the tip.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean maybe there was some mention of the specific products and stuff like that, but again, I just don't know whether that was a good thing. So we like higher level thing is like SAP needs to flood the internet with like 1,000 examples
Yeah.
of all this stuff
Yeah.
to get people jazzed up for using that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And partners too, by the way, who are into this should like create their own channel and flood the world with their examples because like that's gonna have its own flavor and its own exciting piece of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. As always,
Okay.
content is the king.
Content is king every time. Okay, so we couldn't do the Joule and API Hub. Well here, let's try I'm just gonna try it one more time, just real quick.
This is your last chance,
Ooh,
Joe.
come on, Joule. Oh,
And it
I'm
logged.
logged out. Oh, come on.
Oh, it just doesn't want
Nope.
to work
I'm
with
not
us.
I'm not
Yeah.
logging in again. I'll do it off the
Yeah.
video and I'll check it or something. But man, is that how you're gonna play me, SAP?
Yeah.
God, that
Yeah.
sucks.
It's,
Okay. There's only one topic for me that's kind of left, which is I don't think we even gathered a video for that, but I'm just curious to get your thoughts
mhm.
on what anything you've seen or heard about. I'll turn off the screen too because it's not on a web page. I'm curious about anything you've seen or heard with the Joule for Consultants stuff.
Honestly, other than people wondering how it works, what it does, not much, only
Mm.
some screenshots of people asking it basic questions, which I mean, you might as well ask
Yeah.
another tool, but I've not really, to be honest, I've not seen a lot of hype about this even. That makes me wonder if it's just maybe I just do not circulate in the right circles. That's an option, but maybe there is something that about it that's maybe not quite ready, or some kind of reason maybe for SAP not to like
Mm.
start like the full hype cycle. I don't know. I don't want to build like any conspiracies about this. Um, but yeah, makes me wonder a bit
I
what to
don't want to
do
build any
with it.
conspiracies, but I heard that lizard people are running the
Yeah.
thing, so. But the so I've only come across like one detailed like take on it, and it didn't
Mm,
have screenshots. It just was,
yeah.
but it was somebody. It was on LinkedIn. I think I wrote about it a couple issues ago, which was that like Joule for Consultants is like way, way, way more expensive than any of the other
Yeah.
flavors of
Yeah.
Joule.
Yeah. True.
Which is I don't know whether it's good or bad, but that's what it is. But also, like sometimes I think about that too, and I'm like, consultant can mean a ton of different things,
Mm,
right? And if it kind of depends on where the Joule for consultants thing is kind of aimed,
mm,
because like certainly somewhere in the SAP world, there are consultants who are kind of like your like McKinsey sort of consultants who are
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
slide PowerPoint wear, right? Of like make me a PowerPoint slide deck that talks about why clean core is good and like everyone falls asleep and nobody reads 82 slides and they make
Yeah.
a $30,000 an hour and whatever. And like and then you kind of sort of climb up the ladder of like more and more detailed or more and more action oriented or more and more hands-on, whichever dimension you want to put it.
Mm,
And that's where the rubber meets the road in terms of like the usefulness for the real world. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
for actually doing things as a like day-to-day consultant and not like a super high level floating off in space
Mm,
kind of consultant. And I sort of wish there was more. Well, I guess it just floats back to the like, show me the examples, bro. Like,
yeah.
just show more examples of how that works. Because like the other sort of dirty truth, or maybe not dirty truth, but just like if it does work well, and maybe it does, like that's a signal point in the labor marketplace in the
Mm,
SAP ecosystem, right? If that does work well, then like the rest of the SAP ecosystem that we're part of, because we're like, we're not just direct end users, but we also don't work for SAP. We're somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's a signal for that stuff in that what does that mean for people who do things sort
Yeah.
of kind of like what we do?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh well,
But
on this this
on
on
this
this
and
optimistic note.
super uplifting moment, let's let's bring it to a close and get the people what they want and get the video out there to everyone. So, Elena, thank you for lending your voice, and to all of our watchers, subscribers, including special shout out to our Platinum Plus
Yeah.
subscribers
Yeah.
for your $0 a month contribution. Thank you very much for that. uh, but from the Brain Nerds, Brains and Nerds, this is Paul. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.